What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. Go! It's K.L.P Aftermath Morning with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas and Rocco Styles.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, buddy, we back to the VIP. Hey, yep. Y'all see it, the video version of it. Oh, don't trip. Y'all in the right place. Yeah, man. Y'all see the bug there on the corner there. We'll get to it. Hey, bring them out. Come on. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast, man. We're going to let T.I. ride up with me. Oh, boy, howdy. We got a good one for y'all today. Y'all see the video version of it if you watch a video version. Yo, we in a new space. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for y'all for this new setup, this new lighting, and the new building in here. We celebrating 10 years of podcasting, y'all. Yep, 10 years. Hey, 1 2 1 2. We got a great show for y'all today. But we gonna rock out real quick. Y'all know how I do. We getting back to it. Hey. Y'all know. I'm so ready for this one, y'all. Yeah, buddy. Thank y'all, man. The air horns for y'all. Bring them out, come on. Bring them out, come on. Bring them out, y'all. Bring them out. Hey. Bring them out. Yeah, buddy. And nine. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, man. Thank y'all so much. Bring them out. K.L.P Aftermath. I'm celebrating 10 years of podcasting, man. We will get to it, T. I promise. This is the thing that started it all, man. Hey. Come on. Hey. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Thank y'all, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what time it is. This is the K.L.P Aftermath. It's your boy, the swanky one, the director, the producer, the DJ, the hostess with the mostest, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. Yeah, blessed and highly favored. All right, y'all. Y'all, if you're watching the video version of this episode, you guys know, yes, the scenery has changed yet again. This is the set that I was building on for a second. That's kind of why we haven't been doing this particular show, because we wanted to change up the setting of this show, and we had to program and really do up this set here at K.L.P Studios. Yes, I am celebrating 10 years of me podcasting. 10 years. 10 grateful long, highly favored, blessed years of podcasting. So let me break this down to you because you guys know how I like to do on the show. I like to break things down, see, when it comes down to it. Um, yeah, celebrating 10 years of podcasting. It all started back in 2015. And 2015 was the primal year of a lot of people who dabbled into this podcasting thing. One in particular, fan favorite of mine. I'm such a fan of this network. It is the Joe Budden podcast. Everybody knows they just celebrated their 10-year anniversary on their episode. It was episode 803, and then they celebrated episode 800. I've forever will listen to their show and just try to take notes on how they do their podcast, how they do their episodes. But it all started for me in 2015 at GGC. Shout out to GGC, Georgia Gwinnett College. I did it in my dorm room. I had none of this equipment. I didn't have a set. I didn't have lighting. I didn't have none of this 10 years ago. I had a small condenser microphone. I had a Nintendo 3DS as a compactor camera, not 4K, right? And an HP laptop. And it started with that. And then it was just pre recorded. It was a lot of vocal editing I had to do, T. And we all did, me and T did this show called the Lucas Chat Podcast. T, you know, you smiling because you know about the Lucas Chat Podcast. The Lucas Chat Podcast was the first ever show that I built in 2015 in my dorm room. Like I say, and we didn't go to Spotify, we didn't go to Apple, we didn't go to iHeart because we wasn't that big yet in 2015. And SoundCloud was there. So we uploaded episodes on SoundCloud and YouTube. Boy, howdy, those were the days. Those were the days of when we started just doing podcasting. No editing, no music, no nothing, no sound effects, no nothing. It was just raw. And as I started to do in 2015, started to do podcasting, I continued on from 2015, 16, 17, and then 2018 is technically how I went professional with it. Of course, you guys know K.L.P in the morning, K.L.P in the evening, um, other shows like that. We did shows live from Emory University at one point. So it was really, really, really dope. And then I just became professional about doing this podcasting thing. And then at GGC, we were supposed to get started with GGC's radio station in 2019. Shout out to Taylor and Felicia, if they remember me. I mean, this was we're approaching up what 5 years ago since we graduated. So I don't know if they remember. They probably will remember me. But we started to do the radio station at GGC in 2019, but then 2020 happened. COVID shut us down, and we couldn't really get it formulated. That didn't stop me for doing radio. And then ever since then, I have been doing this thing up really well. I've been continuing on this train of what's called podcasting today. And each episode, each season, each celebration, we get better and better and better. We get new equipment. We get a new set like you see here. We've have co-hosts like Evelyn Letitia. We formed our own podcast. By the way, that episode, a new episode of What Happened was coming back this week. Shout out to my girl, Evelyn. This one goes out for you, girl. Evelyn had something personal that I won't name on this broadcast, something personal to do the last few weeks. So we haven't been able to do our episodes this week, but we'll be back in studio this week. So rest assured to a lot of people out there that's listening. And yeah, we've been growing and we've been growing. I tried to formulate an all females podcast with two lovely ladies, friends of mine, but we just couldn't get that together, unfortunately. But we will continue on this train we call podcasting and doing a radio show. Prime time has been hidden. That's again, we got to celebrate prime time in the morning because that's part of our train. With me and Monica, with Edith and Ruben and Brittany and Noah and myself included into that show. So we hope that you guys like that show that we do over there in Studio A when it comes down to prime time in the morning with the other new set. Very, very excited for all of that. The Lucas Tribune, a 10-minute newsy type episode for our network as well. Again, 10 years of celebrating this thing we call podcasting. And here's to 10 more years. Here's to 20 more years. Here's and hoping for 30 more years of me podcasting. Rest assured, I will never quit podcasting. It is one of those things that I genuinely enjoy doing. Very, very excited. And again, it stems from 2015, and it kind of stems a little bit from high school too, because obviously, shout out to shout out to high school, shout out to Central Gwinnett High School. I wanted to bring them up too because we are now approaching 10 years since I celebrated. I graduated high school. Yeah, I was a youngin in 2015. But uh, I guess we're getting ready. They're getting ready for the 10-year anniversary for Central Gwinnett High School. They did an Instagram page. I follow them. They follow me back on Instagram. So I truly do hope that the reunion goes off really well. Would it be something I go to as a reunion? Yes, because I want to see what my buddy's been up to. Right, I want to see with everybody I graduated with in high school to see what they're doing now. Some of them I still follow and I know what they're doing because they have their big boy, big girl jobs. They probably, I mean, some of my friends got like 3 kids and married and ready to rock and roll and getting a little bit older. So it's really, really cool to see all of that. So shout out to Central Gwinnett. I do want to say whoever owns the CGHS15 Instagram account that follows me, if you ever need an MC or you need planning. Well, I'll say this real quick. Planning, yes, but I'm very busy. But like, if you need an MC to kind of MC this event whenever this reunion is, hit me up. I'll be willing to do that because it's giving back to the community. That's what I like to do here at the K.L.P Network and K.L.P Entertainment. I do try to find ways to which we like to give back to the community. Now, I do have a slam dunk podcast for you guys. I do have quite a few things that I want to sort of talk about here on today's episode, but I got to get into, what's been up with me lately because you guys seen it on my Instagram this past weekend, and I just got to talk about it for a minute, right? Just give me a minute, T, to talk about this. This past weekend was a glorious weekend. If you guys don't know, you can follow me on my social media so that way you do know what happened this past weekend. I wanted to give a shout out to all of the high school basketball teams that I saw this weekend. If you guys don't know, we do have a small team to which we do broadcast sports production. We cater to college and high school when it comes down to our contract, but we did high school this past weekend. If you guys don't know, we're live. Our studio, we're headquarters here in Atlanta, but there's an organization called the Georgia High School Association, along with the NFHS. That is the network to where we put together a broadcast for sports production. We do it in college and we do it in high school too. So I'm very, very blessed to have been a part of that team this past weekend down there at Fort Valley University. Shout out to the Wildcats. They hosted the basketball tournament, semifinals tournament this past weekend. Of course, my team was able to go out there and produce a total of 8 games, T. Yes, 8 games. That is a lot. That is a lot. Non-stop. 8 games we produced. So 8 games we produced down there, and it's really good because it is tournament season for Georgia High School Association. Because not only they had events in Fort Valley, they had events in Milledgeville. They had an event in it's Milledgeville, Fort Valley. That's the one we did. Atlanta and Dahlonega, right? So those were the 4 sites. So we picked the Fort Valley site. Very, very good to have such a great time and to see that these high school players, they play, men and women, they play, y'all. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people should understand, that Georgia high school sports, whether it's volleyball, wrestling, swimming, basketball, football, hell, even golf, Georgia has a market. And I tell y'all, Georgia has a market when it comes down to high school sports. There's so much money to be made. There's a lot of production companies that get contracted out to film these sports. And I'm very, very excited for that because a lot of sports is a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of money involved too. So we were able to go out there. Shout out to John and Daniel, our two commentators that just they we slug it out. Me and Ebony Liggins. Y'all know her. Y'all seen her on our show before. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the team because we showed out. So I'm very, very excited for that. So that's what we did this past weekend. You guys can go on our website right now. We reformed the KLP network. It's a tab that's on our website. Click the KLP network. You guys can see all of the archive productions that we did. It's a mixture between KLP Network, KLP Entertainment, Raw Pictures, Horizon Pictures, Kennedy Lucas Films, Apollo Films. So it's a lot of archive work. You guys can see all 10 of our films uh, from our studios alongside with the sports production events that we did. Finally, now as of today, that the last 8 games that we did this past weekend is now added onto KLP Network, so you guys can go out there and take a look as well. Um, Really fun. Fort Valley, it's different. It's different from Atlanta. We all know we're here in Atlanta, down the street from one major buildings here. And here in Atlanta, there's a lot of street life, obviously. But in Fort Valley, it's very interesting because in Fort Valley, there's not really much going on. There's a there is a gas station every 10 miles. There's a town with quite a few restaurants every about 10 miles or so. But it's just open road and grass and a little bit. I don't want to say. I guess I can say boondocky, but I mean it is country. And Fort Valley, the Fort Valley State University, the school itself, very interesting. Predominantly black institution, so that's always nice to see. They call it the HPE building, is what the building's called. The basketball court is called. Um, our setup was really nice. We had the presidential press box, so we were able to set up our equipment and give a great production in that regard. And to see again these players play, men and women, they're tall. Some of these men and women basketball players, I tell y'all, they look grown. They look 30, but they're young. They're I want to say within the range of 17, 18, and 19. They couldn't be in their late 20s because I'm in my late 20s. If you in your late 20s, if you 28 and you in high school, you might as well just quit high school and just become an adult. Full-fledged adult. That's rare, but you'd be surprised at how old people are and didn't finish high school. Um, but I saw a lot of teams that came out to play. They gave us their all. They gave us a lot of great they gave us a lot of great moments. They gave us a lot of great plays. A lot of people come out to it, obviously, with some of their family members, their parents, their grandparents, their friends came out. The players were there. Each team, well, almost each team had their cheerleaders there. A lot of vendors were there. So it was very, very exciting. I was rooting for quite a few teams. And let me tell you why. I don't root for a lot of teams if they're an all black team because I'm black. That's not the case. Because if you're a good team, you are a good team. But I'm going to be honest for a second. And there's no politics, there's no animosity, there's no politics, there's none of that going on what I'm about to talk about next. But it is true that a lot of schools don't get funding like other schools get funding. Right. I've seen a lot of schools, high schools in particular, to where they might be a little bit smaller than your typical schools that you see nowadays that have 3-story, 4-story buildings because they're not in the tax bracket of having that much funding. That's just the unfortunate thing. So I could tell that there's certain schools that may not have that much funding than other schools had. Right. I was rooting for some of the teams that were a little bit doesn't have all the funding and they are quote unquote like the underdog, right? There was this one game, I want to say it was Jackson High versus North Oconee, if I remember the teams right. There was a lot of teams there, so I might mess up on a team or two. I was rooting for Jackson High because you could tell that they didn't have a whole lot of funding school wise, but then they gave us 3 overtimes And in my mind, it's like, and this was the female basketball. It's like, do you believe in miracles? Because they came out swinging and they won the game after 4 quarters of 8-minute quarters, after 3 overtimes, right? Exhaustion. Exhaustion is real. Excuse me. When you're playing these sports, exhaustion is real, y'all. And I was just so blown away to see the amount of their trials and tribulations, and they fought hard like warriors, and they won their game. And now they're going to the championship finals, right? There's a lot of teams like Creekside, right? Creekside High, undefeated, all black team, undefeated, never lost a game in their season, and they won this game here, right? Down to men's basketball, right? I got to give a shout out to Pace Academy because obviously Pace Academy is a little different. We do film a lot. You guys can see it on the network in my resume. I filmed a lot of Pace Academy games as well. But that school is I really like how it's a private school, but they didn't go in as the private side because they do they have a section for private schools in Georgia. Pace said, no, we don't want to play private schools. We want to play the big dogs. We want to play the high school teams that really can play, right? Put their testament to the test. And of course, they won against Tucker. I think it was Tucker Tigers. I think they went against. I might be butchering. I'm not sure. Again, it was 8 games, guys, so I don't remember who played who by point by point. But to see that Pace Academy did really well, congratulations to them. They're a really good team, right? Had so much fun filming these games. These basketball players, they play. They really do play. And it just reminded, I never played basketball. I played baseball. Could I play basketball today? No, absolutely not. So shout out to them. Shout out to our team. Shout out to the Georgia High School Association for allowing us to film that wonderful weekend. It was very, 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 very fun. Yes. So I got to get something loaded up here today because unfortunately we do have a bit of sad news when it comes down to it. And, I got to play it, we got to rest in peace, Angie Stone. Now, I know a little bit about Angie Stone, not so much, right? Not as much as I would like. Angie Stone passed away due to a severe car accident, looks like on news. She was very young, singer, songwriter, and dabbled in the hip hop culture. So I'm really sad about this one, right? I think it is one of those things I'm always going to say when we have a death, you guys want to be appreciative and thank God for living each day because deaths do happen, unfortunately. And it happens, right? And then when you lose somebody, it's just, you lose some people. So rest in peace, Angie Stone. This one hurts because it was somebody that was in the culture that we lost. And it was very, I don't know, it was very, very sad. So Angie Stone, this one's for you. And our condolences to the families and the friends that were a big fan of Angie Stone, singer, songwriter. Yeah. That one hurt. That one hurt a lot just by hearing that. I talked to my mom about it because she knew about Angie Stone. I think my mom knows more about Angie Stone than I do. Well, I don't even think I know, T. My mom brought up a good question. It was like a car full of people and Angie Stone was the only one that passed away. So I don't know. There's just something off about it. But, I think it's going to come out more when records come out more. Records do come out more. And, it comes out more. When it comes out to the autopsy and what really happened, it will come out more when it comes down to it. So rest in peace, Angie Stone. All right, so we got to move on to, you guys know how I like to do it on our shows. I like to talk about wrestling, right? I like to talk about WWE when it comes down to our episode. If you're not a WWE fan, skip forward to later on in this episode because I talk about more stuff. But I've got to talk about it because when this episode comes out, I want to be one of the first people to talk about it. Um, so we all know, and I caught up on it yesterday. Today's Monday, so I caught up on it yesterday. Uh, couldn't watch it on the day of because obviously I was in Fort Valley filming, so couldn't really catch it on Saturday. But Elimination Chamber, let me tell y'all about Elimination Chamber. So I caught up on it um, live in Canada. The show was there was a lot of WTF moments when it comes down to Elimination Chamber. So let's break it down for y'all. I'm gonna break it down from match by match. I won't talk so much about the match T on each match because you just have to watch it on Peacock for yourself if you want a full in depth. But I want to talk about my takeaways from the Elimination Chamber. Now, this is where WWE has been exciting for the last 2 years. It got really exciting. I've obviously watched it. Back in January, we went to I want to say, well, in October we went to Bad Blood when they came to Atlanta, and then back in January we went to Raw, and that was a fun time there too. Elimination Chamber was this past weekend, March 1st, and they were live in Toronto, Canada. I'm a big fan. I'm just gonna say this real quick without getting political. Pat McAfee's my guy. I can tell he's American made. Look, I'm an American too. You got to understand Pat McAfee. You got to understand the politics. Now, I based off the broadcast, they said that they played the American national anthem in Toronto for Elimination Chamber. To a part of it, I understand because WWE is an American company. Obviously, Stamford, Connecticut's in America. But you got to understand the politics nowadays. Today, Canada don't really like America that much, right? And so I say, I'm just saying it now on the show. I don't know for sure. It's not my fact. I'm just podcasting right now. I'm talking. You got to understand the politics right now between what Trump's got going on with Canada and the tariffs and whatnot. We ain't really on their hot list right now. So, of course, they're going to boo the national anthem. Like I say, I'm not going to say that I'm booing the national anthem because, yes, I am an American. So, but you got to understand the politics behind it, Pat McAfee. He goes on about it, too. He's like, yeah, they booed our national anthem. I ain't really too keen on that. And I get Pat McAfee. He is a journalist, y'all. He's a podcaster, journalist, makes multi-millions on ESPN. He get paid to be controversial. I get it. But you got to understand the politics about it, right? You got to understand it. I just hope that they don't continue on the political stuff. Okay, they booed the national anthem in Canada. You guys not in America. You're in a different country. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It is what it is. Get over it. I just hate it when I hate it when journalists they get so political. I don't want them to get so political in our shows. I really don't. And I try not to stay away from politics, but I do kind of have another politic talks later on after after this segment. We'll get to it. It's about Joanne Reed and all that. We'll get to that. Oh, I got something to say about that. But we go on to the women's elimination chamber match. Of course, I was really surprised to see Jade Cargill return. Jade Cargill returns and attacks Naomi. Now, let me say this. I don't know if you guys been listening to the last few podcasts that I did. I think it was, I can't remember which episode it was, but it was an episode after we learned the attacks of Jade Cargill. Somebody attacks Jade Cargill, and now Bianca Belair and Naomi becomes the tag team champions, vacating Jade Cargill's spots. You remember when I said Bianca or Naomi attacked Jade, a part of the storyline? It wasn't Liv Morgan and Raquel. One of them attacked Jade Cargill. You remember when I said that, y'all, right? And exactly what just happened. Jade Cargill attacks Naomi. Naomi attacked Jade Cargill. That's part of the storyline. That's what happened. She did it. Honestly, though, I thought Bianca did it, right? Or it could have been a tag team where Bianca knew that Naomi attacked Jade Cargill a few months back, right? So it was really good to see Jade Cargill. She got a lot of welcome back chants. I do hope And I say that this is a hot topic. I do hope that Jade Cargill was able to get trained a little bit. When she first came out to WWE, she was the biggest pop. But then when I saw later on her wrestling skills in the ring, it wasn't all the way there for me. I'm still a fan of Jade Cargill, but she wasn't all the way there when it came down to her skill, right? So that's part of the play there. She got a little bit more developed into WWE because she has to understand she's not in AEW anymore, right? It's a different spectrum, it's a different world, right? I'm very, very excited for that. To see what Jade Cargill does. I think we're lining up to see Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. I don't know. It is kind of early to tell because I thought we were going to see Bianca Belair versus Jade because you guys remember at the Royal Rumble about a year ago or two, Jade Cargill made her debut in the Royal Rumble and Bianca and Jade had a standoff in the ring, right? And that's the future. So, or we could get it to where we have Lash Legend, right? Comes into the fray, right? Lash Legend comes into the fray from NXT because she's honestly between the two ladies, she's gotten that big pop. Maybe we'll see BFAB be a part of this storyline, right? Look, I'm a fan of my beautiful black women being in the spotlight. Call me what it is. And I joke around it because when we went to the Hawks game, my brother said, "Hey, he loves black women," and I say I love black women too, but honestly I love my white girls too. Love my Indian girls. I love my Indian girls. I love my Asian girls. I love girls. Period. But ain't nothing wrong to see my beautiful black queens in the ring, right? Look. I'm a fan for that one. I like that. I'm rocking with that. Um, so she comes out, Jade Cargill. Honestly, again, she looks great. I want to see more, right? I want to see more of what happens. Again, I won't. The whole match was very gruesome. I like it that the women gave us a slobber knocker of a match. And I'm quoting Jim Ross on this one because they were beating the living shit out of each other, right? Everybody was beating up everybody, kept throwing them against the glass. And I'm gonna tell you, Jade Cargill, when she attacked Naomi, Jade Cargill beat the living shit out of Naomi. So and did to see Bianca so distraught, beating the glass like she was in a horror movie. Bianca, if you ever tried out for a horror movie, you would be really good at it because I really felt bad for Bianca. Right? I almost got teary eyed when I saw that because I could see, and I'm a big Bianca Belair fan. I am to see her cry and upset. Let me tell you, I don't like this. I don't like to see girls cry. Like I look, if I see a girl crying, I'm gonna cry because I don't I don't like that. I don't like the waterworks for my ladies. I don't like to see that because I feel guilty, right? But playing a part of the story, um, Liv Morgan gave us a great outlet. Alexa Bliss, welcome back. I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss. She's gave us her all into the match as well. Towards the end of the match, Bianca Belair ended up winning for WrestleMania, so she's going to WrestleMania to face Rhea Ripley or Io Sky, one of those two. I think this Monday, Rhea and Io's match is this coming up Raw, and tonight, by the time you listen to the podcast, we'll see who Bianca Belair will be facing. Very, very good match to see that. The next match was I want to say it was the Trish Stratus, and I might be all over the place with it. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. It feels good to see Trish Stratus back. She gave us, look, Trish, she's been in this game for 25 years and she can still go. The reason why Trish Stratus can still go because after she left WWE, she never stopped training. She never stopped her fitness. She never stopped her yoga and her studio and her brand. She never stopped it. So that's why when she looked good in the ring, she looked good. You got all of these other Hall of Fame women superstars who get in the ring, they may not look as good because they have a little ring rust. They haven't been doing this craft for a while. But Trish Stratus never stopped it. I'm a big fan of Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. I'm there. I'm part of Tiffy time, right? But to see these beautiful ladies perform against Nia Jax and Candice Lorray. Um, again, Nia Jax still has to grow on me. I'm not 100% fan of Nia Jax still, but she's growing on me. I, I guess, it's a filler match, rivalry because Nia Jax and Tiffany, they were friends. And, it was one of those things that, that was part of the storyline there. They're seeking that revenge. I do want to see, I can't wait to see Tiffany Stratton continue on her journey as champion. I'm looking forward to that WrestleMania match between her and Charlotte Flair. That's going to be very, very good to watch because Tiffany Stratton is very, very talented. She's pretty, but very talented. She can wrestle, right? She's done the gymnastics and she's been on that team for Team USA, and now she's in the ring. She's doing something. I think we're going to see more Trish Stratus in the ring, and as we get closer to WrestleMania, because it sells, right? It's a good outlet to see. It's a good outlet to see those two or Trish Stratus back because we're also in her hometown, so it's just a good pop there. I was very, very surprised in commentating. They said that this was Trish Stratus's kids' first time seeing her perform live. So I that was very, very unique. I never knew that, but I was very excited to hear about that because now her kids can see, hey, this is what I did for 25 years to take care of you and put you through college. As I joke, because Trish Stratus made a lot of money in WWE, right? She's a big ticket item. So to see all of that hard work goes there, celebrating 25 years, I think she can do 25 more years, honestly, because she looked good. She looks good. She never lost it, T. She never lost her luster. She never lost her ring experience, and she didn't look like she had ring rust at Elimination Chamber. So, and then the next match was the unsanctioned match. Again, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Very, very good, gruesome match. This is the WWE that fans love. I love it. I'm so here for it. I am here for the extreme rules type matches in WWE. I think those matches go far. They really cultivate the art of wrestling, mixed in with superstar, mixed in with the story, but beating the living hell out of each other. Now, Kevin Owens come out to the win on that. Very, very good match to see. Very gruesome. Again, throwing each other around was very good. I felt bad for Craig Robinson. If you guys don't know Craig Robinson, he's the OG referee. OG, along with Mike Chioda and Earl Hebner, Craig Robinson is one of them OGs, right? And to see him get knocked out by Kevin Owens is just like, oh, don't do Uncle Craig like that. But again, very, very good. Very, very good match. And then I want to say the next match was let me get, this is the part where it's good to have a computer right in front of you because I do want to say the next match was the men's elimination chamber. And we're doing this all live right now because I want to make sure I get my facts right. Let me see here. Let me get the results. Shout out to Wrestling Headlines. I do want to say that was the last match. And then they did a segment there. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that was I had to make sure. So total of 4 matches. Elimination Chamber match. Again, you had Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Logan Paul in this match. I'm very, very excited very, very excited to see this match. I was rooting for CM Punk, but we all know who won. John Cena won. That match was gruesome too. They beat the living crap out of each other in this match. Very, very good. John Cena and CM Punk, they were on the opposite ends towards the match. It was like, hey, it's good to see you. I miss you. Now let's get into it. And they started beating each other up, and it just really got some wonders there. Not a fan of Logan Paul. Sorry, but I'm not. I try to be a fan of Logan Paul at certain points. Not a fan of Logan Paul. It's my personal preference. People might disagree with me on that. Just one of those things that I don't like. And then towards the end of the match here, John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber match. He's doing his little 2-step, his little pump, and then another pump, and then a 5, and then 5 another chuckle, But towards the end of the match, this is where things is getting spicy. This is where it gets spicy. Okay, I'll take this back. Because shout out to my man Daniel. Daniel was he's our commentator. We talked about this over this past weekend. Because Daniel, shout out to you, Daniel, because Daniel's a wrestling fan too. It's really cool because he said his mother-in-law and his wife watched wrestling too. So that's very, very nice. This is where it all turns. Cody Rhodes comes out. The Rock comes out because obviously The Rock wants to know Cody Rhodes' answer about getting Cody Rhodes sold. I saw it on social media and then I rewatched it, obviously. I did not think they were going to allow Cody Rhodes to say the F-bomb on TV. We saw it on Instagram. I saw it on Instagram first. Then I rewatched it. Like, he really said, Rock, go F yourself. I was like, what? What kind of WWE is going on here? WWE, you got something because you're allowing people to cuss and say how they feel. And this is what's making WWE cool again. It's the cussing. It's the violence that we like. So we thought we're going to see, and we will, Cody Rhodes, American Nightmare, the company poster child for current events versus John Cena, the ex-company poster boy. Cena going for 17 championships. He's the good guy. He's the hero. He's the peacemaker, pun intended, because he plays Peacemaker in DC. John Cena turns heel. He kicks Cody Rhodes in the nuts, attacks Cody Rhodes. Oh, I forgot. Travis Scott was there too. Shout out to Travis Scott. It's a promo piece for his music. Hey, look at me. I'm on. Hey, Travis. I like Travis Scott now, but he was just there, just kind of adding on to the story there. I want to say I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. And he gives Rock a hug, and they chant together. Remember when we had The Rock versus Cena in 2011, years ago? They longtime rivals, but now they both in Hollywood. John Cena will now be a heel for WWE. After damn near 20 years of being the poster boy, the hero, now he is bad, John Cena. And everybody on social media, including myself included, said, holy hell. They did it. They are turning John Cena heel. I'm excited to see what this WrestleMania card looks like. My brothers, because we're big wrestling people, my dad is shocked, and both my brothers are shocked. My little brother Ryan, they were a little bit upset because they like John Cena. That's John. That's their guy. But shocked, but I kind of like it. I think it's going to work because now WWE, they're thinking about it as numbers too, guys. WWE broke the internet. John Cena broke the internet when he turned heel. So I can't wait to see what this storyline looks like. I just can't wait to see what WrestleMania will look like because I'm here for it. I love it. It's really, really cool to see John Cena as a heel. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what this looks like when it goes down to it and how The Rock will play a part in this storyline. Very, 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 very dope. And that was Elimination Chamber, guys. Go check it out. It's on Peacock right now, streaming right now. Tonight is Raw on Netflix. So, of course, I will be at home watching Raw on Netflix tonight. And then maybe Tuesday and Wednesday on prime time in the morning, I will give you guys a review on Raw on Netflix for tonight. But shout out to that. Now, before we get to another juicy topic of conversation, we do have a sponsor. Shout out to our sponsor. So if you guys don't know, I am a academic person right now. Hopefully I said that right, T. I am in school, if you guys don't know. And this episode was brought to you by Libby. Now, Libby is an app that you guys can download. And if you are in school, and if your school is listed as a library to where you can check out a library card if you are a student, then you can check out books that are within your library. Check it out because I've been reading or listening because I'm big into audiobooks, right? That's one of the things that I'm getting into. I read Barack Obama's A Promised Land. I just finished Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Very, very good book to listen or read. If you're a reader, yeah, read it. I like to listen to it because if I'm editing or I'm driving, I'm listening to the book. It just works out really wonders for me. And now I'm watching or I'm reading by Andy, I forgot his last name, but The Corner Office, The Keys of Becoming a CEO. That's the book I'm reading currently. I tried to listen to Jeezy's audiobook, but Jeezy's reading it and I just can't. He's reading like, look, I love Jeezy, but I kept laughing every time. So I just couldn't dabble into Jeezy's audiobook because how the way he reads is just that I kept laughing the whole time. Like, I can't listen to this because I'm not taking this book seriously. But very, very good. Libby is the app to where again you guys can the download the app. If you are a student, you get a library card. If your school is listed on the Libby app, you guys can check out a library card for free and check out audiobooks and books itself via your computer, your iPad, and your phone. So shout out to Libby. And shout out to sponsor number two, Mixcloud.com, real quick. This past weekend, I meant to say this at the beginning, T. Macon Madness. We did a Macon set live from Macon. You guys can go to Mixcloud.com or download the app. Type in DJ Kennedy Lucas. You guys saw it on my social media. We did a little snippet. We played T-Pain's uh, 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 um, dang, what's the name of the song? I'm blanking out on the song because I'm talking too much. Uh, Ding, 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 ding. Oh, it's gonna come back to me. It's gonna come back to me. I promise. It's not buy you a drink, but it's yeah, I can't remember. I'm looking out because I'm talking too much. But Mixcloud.com, we did a DJ mix set um live from Macon, so you guys can take a listen. So shout out to Mixcloud as well. Now, here's the last minute news or the last minute topic of conversation. This past week, I've been having conversations about this because a lot of my friends, my barber, and my trainer has been talking about the same thing. Um, and I'm very sad to see about this because this is just a topic of conversation that I think everybody should know and should have. And this is just solely my opinion. I gotta say, I do like the business aspects of certain networks like Fox Sports or ESPN or SNN or CNN, excuse me. I like the business development of these. But I do want to have that conversation to my fellow people out there who own their own media. So we all know Joanne Reed and colleague was, and well, they're producers of the show. They were let go by a network. And a lot of people have been speculating about this thing where they were let go because they're in the minority, they're black, they're letting go of the good black shows and keeping our counterpart white shows, right? And I kind of see the angle there because we're in a crazy world that we live in, and this topic it's a little bit political, but I don't want to dabble so much in politics on my show. But we gotta talk about this because I want to express to a lot of people the importance of if you have the ability to form your own media conglomerate, whatever that is, then you should do it, right? We all know these bigger networks like Fox Corporation, ESPN, and CNN, they are big corporations, right? As a podcaster and an analyst, I like to work for one of these networks because it gives me in a certain audience that I've never reached before. So I get why a lot of people go to these corporations to get their legs in. I also understand that a lot of people choose to go independent. Right now, if you guys don't know by now, K.L.P Entertainment, we are independent. We are not sponsored by a big corporation or a big news site because we like the formula of having an independent kind of thing to where we have 100% control of our medium and our content. My barber, shout out to Byron. Thank you for the haircut, by the way. My barber Byron brought up this conversation and he wanted to ask me because obviously he watches the shows of ours as well. It's like, do you think it's important to have your own media conglomerate? And I said yes. You look at my content, K.L.P Entertainment. You look at to name a few podcasts, the Joe Budden podcast and Rory and Mal podcast, all or the Poor Minds podcast by the two ladies here in Atlanta. They have their own media conglomerate because they can control their audience. They can control what they pull out, and they can't fire themselves. It's the same thing. And as I said to Byron, you got to think about musicians and artists too. You've got a lot of rappers who sign to these big labels, but then you look at artists, for an example, like Tech Nine. Shout out to Tech Nine, right? Strange Music, owned by him. He can't fire himself. He's also independent, so that way he has a little bit more control of his organization and his business. And I also brought up the example of Stephen A. Smith, for an example. Obviously, First Take, the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. I listened to that show too. Very good show. If Stephen A. Smith was to get let go from ESPN, it will suck for a minute. But Stephen A. Smith played the game. He got with a big corporation like ESPN, and I ain't shit talking ESPN because ESPN they're pretty good. But he got on that big network and created such a good following to where if for some strange reason ESPN decides to let Stephen A. Smith go, he can build his own media. Hell, Stephen A. Smith made so much money that he can build his own set and create his own version of First Take if he felt so fancy. He kind of do that already with his podcast show. He kind of has a set and marketing and the voice for it. So he could do it today if he wanted to. I'm going back to the example with Joe Budden, right? Joe Budden has his own set, his own network, his own name, down to us. K.L.P Studios and K.L.P Entertainment got our own set, our own equipment, our own voice. And that's something that I think Joanne Reed could do because she's very, very popular. It is very, very unfortunate that a lot of these shows get let go. Don Lemon was another prime example of a good anchor, a good analyst, a good broadcast journalist. But he were to let go. Same thing with Roland Martin. Roland Martin's he's too big to where if he got let go of his network, he could do something else. So I say to a lot of people, if you have the mindset and the budget and the will, it is also good to have your own type of network. So that way, if you were to ever be let go of something, you know that you're doing it right. You know that you have your own network and media conglomerate to where you don't have to stress about getting let go for a big corporation. I think I do say to a lot of corporations that it is unfortunate when you have so much great talent that brings you the viewership. And it is true, on-air viewership, rankings on every show is not the best. I think now ranking in television nowadays is either streaming or a podcast, right? That's kind of the newest ways that people are getting rankings nowadays. TV is just for TV. And TV ratings sometimes don't hit the mark. They just don't, right? It's unfortunate. I think people like Joanne Reed, I think she has the availability to go to another network or to build her own network because she has such a great name. First name Katie, I forgot her last name, but she was a colleague of hers from the network and she spoke out because it is the unfortunate thing of, some of these corporations, our counterparts get paid more than we do, and then we have to work twice as hard, right? That's the saying that we've been saying for years now. But then you ask, okay, so my counterpart here makes 50 million. I'm just throwing out a number, for example. They make 50 million, but I only make 9 million. Why is that when we do the same thing? Right? It's just one of those things that people got to look out for. And it's not to say, before we wrap, it's not to get racy, right? It's not to say, oh, the white people, that's not what I'm saying. It's just we really got to wake up and really look at what's going on about these corporations, right? Are we getting the shittier end of the deal? And if we are, why not build our own? Right? If I had $100 million in the bank today, I would create a competitor to CNN or Fox Corporation to where we don't cater to all black news. That's not what I'm saying. But we built our own news station. I'll take 100 million, build my own news station like CNN, but we don't screw people over. Right? We want to make sure that everybody get paid the same. I want if only if, and this is a dream of mine. This is something I dream about. It's a fantasy. I would hire her and say, hey, you got let go here. Why don't you come on this side? We'll pay you what you deserve, what you're worth. We're going to pay you right. You just do a bang up job and help us get our numbers up. That's the conversation that everybody's having on Twitter. That's the conversation everybody's having on social media, T. Why not build your own media company? A black-owned media company. There are some out there. All black. Y'all know All Black. They stream all black shows and movies on that app. We know about it. They're doing something. Now it's time to get into the newsworthy. And I'm not talking about the shade room where they talk about mess and drama and gossip. None of that. And I'll say this. We had one. Now that I think about it. This company was handling news, kind of. Hip-hop news, really. But news. But it was news, podcast, radio, a little bit of music, a little bit of politics, a little bit about current events and economic changes. This company was called Revolt. You know who owned Revolt? P. Diddy. P. Diddy had to sell his shares because of his thing he got going. That's why I am still pissed off at P. Diddy for what he did, allegedly, and it's been proven. But you were a majority shareholder of a black media company that made billions of dollars. But you wanted to mess around and screw yourself up, and now you had to sell your shares. We don't need that. Again, if I had $100 million, I for sure as hell wouldn't do what P. Diddy did, or Bill Cosby did, or Robert Kelly. I wouldn't do what those people did. But if I had $100 million, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to build another alternative for CNN and have a black man on that, or a black woman on that. But, you know, we can dream. It's a dream. Could come true, but it's a dream. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today, K.L.P. Aftermath. Yes, we are celebrating 10 years of doing this thing. We hope that you guys enjoyed this episode just as much as we did. To my cast and crew, my producers, everybody's here in the studio. The new set, by the way, we thank y'all. I want to say to our fan base, thank y'all so very much for staying tuned. 10 years of me podcasting. God. I told my mom and dad, she was like, really? It's been 10 years? Like, yeah, mama. I started in 2015. It's been 10 years this year. So thank y'all. I thank y'all so very much. Stay tuned for Prime Time in the Morning later this week. Stay tuned for What Happened Was podcast episode this week. We've got so much great stuff coming out this week that I'm super excited about. New movies getting ready to hit streaming services. Syndicate. Y'all just got to wait. We coming, all right? We coming with that movie, but because we're filming faster too, right? We're filming upon filming upon filming. So very, very excited for that. Thank y'all so very much. We will catch y'all in the next episode of K.L.P. Aftermath as we celebrate 10 years of podcasting. Until then, stay safe. Peace.
Go, what's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. Go! It's K.L.P Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas and Rocco Styles.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.